Alright, so do you have Ragnarock versus
Damn it.
Nafart? And ready whenever they are. So this is round number 3, actually. This is a best of 3. Actually, no more hero able to take the win. Okay, so
Cool. Awesome.
round number 3 here in the PMS H2O Bronze Silver Weekly number 12. We will have Ragnarock the Red Zerg versus Nafart the Purple Protest on MOG Zelnaga Caverns.
Zelnaga Caverns.
Yep, best of 3 as well.
One of my favorite maps.
Really? I vetoed it just recently.
Love this map. I love this map. I hate Abyssal Caverns, though. I'm telling you all about that one.
Yep. I veto Abyssal, Nerazim, and this one. Alright, so take it away there, Goldfire.
Oh, alright. So we have spawning on the north position, EXE Ragnarok, the Red Zerg. And in the bottom left, we have Nafart, the Purple Protoss. Oh, yay. And now, this map, MLG Zelnaga Caverns. Again, I said one of my favorite maps. I like all the... There's a bunch of wide open spaces, particularly at the naturals, which makes it hard to defend no matter what race you are. So, you know, Protoss tries to take an early expansion, and it's prone to some quick ling run-bys through the corridor over to the right, or, you know, any of the 2 entrances up above, too, because those are also very hard to block off without some interesting building placement in between the ramp and the nexus. And again, for Zerg, it's, you know, it's wide open. If you want to defend this natural with spine crawlers, you are basically leaving your ramp open to be harassed and just walked right up. So makes for some interesting play sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, so we do see both players. Ragnarok is droning up. Actually, there goes the pool down at 13 pool. The gateway down at the front for Nafart, and then the simulator down as well. So, simulator timing is just about right to get that so that the warp, you know, he'll have enough gas for the warp gate. It's actually a little bit early, I think, but you know. We'll see here. I mean, this is a best of 3, so one thing that Owen used to say when we were casting is that, you know, any kind of multi-game series, best of 3, best of 5, are very prone to some kind of cheese somewhere along the line. And, you know, when you cheese in a best of 3 or best of 5, it's not really cheese because, you know,
you've got more matches.
Exactly. It's more of a, you know, like a positional advantage to get, you know, to try and give yourself an advantage in you know, in the early game, you know, because if you start off, you know, with the macro game in one game, the first game, the second game you decide to go with a cheese, you know, the player might think, oh, he's just macro, he's going to macro again. And,
boom, 6 pool.
And then, exactly. And likewise the other way around, you know, you start off with a cheese, they're going to think you cheese again, and then you macro and they're not ready for it.
Exactly.
So gas is done for Ragnarok, but not actually putting any drones on it. Zergling's out, gonna be able to not snipe that probe yet. Nope, doesn't decide to chase either. Chronoing out one stalker and the warp gate. There is a second gas down for Nafart. Now that's a pretty early second gas. Usually you don't see that second gas come down until after the second gateway has been placed. So we'll see what he decides to do with that. If he maybe is going for some kind of Stargate play, or well, there is another gateway down, so maybe he's just going for a
Overlord sniped.
Yes.
And
Roach Warren.
Well, looks like we have an expansion coming out for Zerg player.
Yep, and the Roach Warren down as well, so it looks like a Roach expand or something. Only 2 harvesters on the extractor for Ragnarok. It's interesting to see, like, most of these players that we've seen so far, and you know, like to go for, you know, these early roaches.
Well, roaches are awesome.
Yes, they are good. They are good. And another gas going down for Ragnarock. Just gateways now here from Nafart. Going to be getting sentries for now and a zealot. Chronoing out the rest of his warp gate technology. A couple Zerglings moving across, just scouting out. This looks like Nafart going to place a pylon down on the low ground. Probably looking to maybe do an expand, and yeah, there is the Nexus. So like a modified 3-gate expand here from Nafart. A Zealot, Sentry, and Stalker out for defense. But he has enough gas to warp in a couple more sentries, and that he does. So both players going for a pretty early expand, but Ragnarock having a couple of roaches moving across the map right now. He may be able to do a bit of damage if he does push with this.
Unfortunately, without link speed, makes things a little more interesting.
Yep.
You know, you can't get the surround as quickly on the sentries or on the stalkers, and then you can't run away from zealots as quickly either. Yeah. We all know what zealots do to zerglings.
Yes, sir. I mean, we do have more zealots being warped in, but with the roaches out, zealots aren't really what he needs. He's going to need more sentries for force fields or more stalkers to hit, do the DPS versus those roaches. Probe transfer is going down to the natural. Pretty perfectly timed probe transfer, I'd say.
But we have a nice ball of units here for Ragnarock.
Yeah, Ragnarock is moving across the map now with these units.
Yeah, fairly intimidating. It's going to be tough getting the other thing that not having link speed does is that you can't run around force fields as quickly either. And, if Nafart gets some decent force fields out, the lings are just going to be completely useless in this fight.
Yeah, so link speed is about 3/4 of the way done. There are more lings being streamed across, roaches as well. So it looks like just like a 2-base roach link timing attack. Just unfortunately not having the link speed is going to delay this attack a bit. The part just probing up right now. There are 37 probes, 38 versus the 19 for Ragnarock. So Ragnarock needs to really do some damage, and actually he pretty much needs to just kill him right now in order to stay in this game. But with this army, there's a really big army. The army supply is in favor of Ragnarock, 43-30, but with properly placed force field, that could turn that army into 0 instantly.
There we go. The links coming in, getting a surround on the...
Roaches coming in, also doing some really good damage, taking out a couple of sentries, preventing any other force fields going down. Roaches doing really good damage. Force field's not too well placed, actually being worse for the roaches can be able to range out the zealots, but he is going to pull back as there are a bunch of stalkers being worked in. A ton more zerglings being rallied across the map, but these stalkers from the park are trying to chase down a couple of roaches and decided to pull back. But there are a ton of zerglings.
Yeah, there are a lot of zerglings coming out.
Yeah.
And once these zerglings get out, if the majority of Nafart's army is still stalkers, and zerglings do pretty well against stalkers.
Yeah, I mean, Nafart already used his warp, and he doesn't have another warp in for another 5 seconds. Actually, right now, how he uses his warp in is going to be crucial for this next push coming right now. Actually, not doing any warp. These zerglings are going to run in. He's going to be able to get this around here. Only one sentry available, actually no sentry
goes down.
And now only stalkers being warped in, but there are just so many zerglings here that may be able to defend up. There's roaches as well, going to be able to do some nice damage to those stalkers.
Probes come in.
Probes come in, but using those roaches to micro forward and focus down the stalkers. Smart move there by Ragnarock, just trying to microwave from the surround, but there is an immortal out now as well. More roaches being streamed in, but this immortal is going to be able to do some huge damage to these roaches as it does 3-shot them.
Yeah, the zerglings need to get across the map immediately.
Yeah, I mean, these zerglings are coming across, but I don't know if there's... Oh, there will be a nice amount of zerglings going to be able to get this around. Instead, he's focused firing on the immortal. There's a bunch of zerglings running around in circles. not really doing anything damage-wise. So pretty botched attack there from Ragnarock.
Yeah, and that whole time, as Ragnarock was making units, he was not making drones. So the harvester count now heavily in favor of Nafart.
Yeah, 50 to 20 right now. Yikes. Yeah, and at the same time, you do see Nafart was macroing up, teching up at the same time. He does have a Colossus on the way. No thermal lance, but he has a Colossus as well as a Warp Prism, I think I saw. Maybe it's an accident. I saw the Warp Prism, but I think it was canceled.
No, there are no Warp Prisms on the field.
Yeah, he might have accidentally did it and canceled it. There is an observer, though, moving across the map. Going to try and get a check out there. Double Forge going for the +1/+1 attack and armor. And a couple more gateways being laid down. Yeah, so right now, I mean, Nafart did a really good job holding that attack off. And, Ragnarock is really behind us in the drone count. And really, he's just making units right now where he really should be making drones, taking another expansion, maybe even 2, and just droning up. Because once this next push comes, there's going to be 1 Colossus, possibly even 2, out on the field. Well, actually, no second Colossus yet. But, I mean, the army from Nafart is just huge. And once that +1 finishes, it's going to be pretty much over for the Zerg player.
Colossi are bad news bears.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of zealots out there, too.
Yeah, so one thing you can notice, the Zerg player, all of his overlords are spread out inside of his base. He has no sight throughout the map at all. Even the Protoss, does not have much vision across the map other than the 1 observer over the army. He has not really seen much of Nafart's tech, so he's only seen a spawning pool, but he knows obviously there are roaches, but he does not know about the infestation pit that is out. However, 1 infestor being morphed, but no pathogen gland upgrade, so that infestor is going to be pretty useless for at least 30 seconds. Yeah, so both players just kind of just sitting back. Ragnarock still not building any drones. Stargate is down for Nafart. And yeah, +2/+2 actually on the way. Oh, engagement there. Nice engagement. Yeah, the wings are going to get this around on the stalker. Force field going down, preventing those wings from getting too much of this round.
Those roaches need to go and focus fire these colossi down, or else it's going to be over.
Yeah, these colossus are able to do just way too much damage from the back. They do have that +1 attack as well as thermal lance upgrade, so they're just doing tremendous amounts of damage. There is 1 infestor out with fungal growth. The units from Ragnarock being morphed, but there's just Nafart deciding to actually pull back and just stay econ.
Interesting decision.
Yeah, actually expanding again to the gold. He already has the expansion at his 3rd and he's taking a 2nd expansion at the gold. I mean, still, Ragnarock has not created a drone for at least 10 minutes.
Well, that's not good.
It's like 63 to 22 harvesters right now.
Ooh.
Charges on the way, +2/+2, finishing up very soon. Void Ray on the way as well, and another Colossus. Everything being thrown on a boosters. And yeah, the army supply is double. Nafart's army is double, and his workers are triple. It's just definitely a bad position for Ragnarock right now, especially with these units moving across the map. This will probably be the last engagement of the game. Oh, not yet. Waiting for those zealots to get in front.
Smart move.
And just the waiting game here. Okay. You know, kind of just waiting for these units. I mean, Nafart sitting outside of his base is allowing him to just create more and more units. But here we go. Oh, he's waiting for the charge off to go in. Charging into those bases. Fortunately going down. Absolutely hurting the Zealot, but the velocity is completely powerful and I'm destroying those units. Plus, he has finished melting away. Fungal Growth does go down, but really is not going to do anything.
It's too little, too late.
From Ragnarock.